So I made a video talking about what I eat throughout the day. And our friend here was like, aren't you worried about high cholesterol? Because I mentioned bacon, eggs, whole eggs. We're not talking egg whites, we're talking all the yolks, probably like 5, 6, a day. Like I said, bacon, sausage, all that stuff. I mean, I'm very careful about where I get my meat from, and they're like, aren't you worried about high cholesterol? And I said, absolutely not. Cholesterol is good for the brain. Cholesterol is good for the body. And so she's like, I've always thought, which again, so have most Americans. High cholesterol levels is bad, harden an artery, cause heart attacks. So here's what I'm trying to convey, you guys. This is why I'm telling you to do your own research. This is why I'm telling you to question your doctor when they try to put you on something to lower your cholesterol. This is why. Because most of us have been lied to. In fact, not most of us, all of us have been lied to. There were doctors, scientists who were paid to say that consuming red meat is bad for the heart, that consuming all these fatty meats, is bad for our arteries. They were paid, and this is why I've just said to get on YouTube and type in carnivore doctors and see what pops up. Look at the doctors who have talked about the carnivore diet or keto diet, whatever, and listen to what their patients have done, listen to what they have done, because it's a whole different story. I'm starting to believe, because again, this is, a kind of a whole different journey that I've started myself several months ago, and it's not the damn meat. It is the sugar. It is in my opinion, the carbohydrates. I'm not a doctor, I'm just someone who's, and then, okay, so she's asking, have you had your cholesterol tested? Yeah. And my doctor, who I kept ignoring every time they tried to call me, was like, yeah, your cholesterol is really high. We need to, talk to you about this. And I'm like thinking this to them. I did not return any of their calls because I'm done going to a doctor like that. I am going to go and see a different doctor. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to ask him, do you heal with nutrition? Or are you just sitting there with a prescription pad to, help push pharmaceuticals? We have never been more sick in this country than we are now. Because a long time ago, I'm going to say maybe in the 70s, 80s, it was just like, hey, we need to, change things. So we're going to tell everybody to consume a lot of carbohydrates, grains, fiber, and we're going to tell them that it's good for you. And and then we're going to tell them to cut back on red meat, or we're going to tell them to cut back on fatty meat, and let's see what happens. And here we are now. We've got kids who are dealing with obesity. We've got the highest, we've never been more overweight. We've never been more infertile. We are so incredibly sick. And finally, I'm hoping now that we have someone in the White House who is teaming up with a bunch of people who seems to care more about, healing us with nutrition than with, I don't know, prescriptions, Ozempic, whatever that crap is called. I was listening to a podcast about them trying to, push for some bill to be able to, put kids on Ozempic, and it's ridiculous because I've heard that once you get on that shit, you have to take it for life. That's not healing you. That's just giving you, this is why I'm urging people to do their own research. Doctors don't, in my opinion, most doctors Most primary care physicians don't give a shit about curing you. They're going to do the whole thing. We're going to check your cholesterol. It could be 270 something, and they're going to be like, oh, that's too high. We need to get you on something to lower it. Do you know that cholesterol is good for the brain? Do you know that we have so many people who are suffering from Alzheimer's? That has to do with carbohydrates more than it does with cholesterol, in my opinion. Again, this is me on my deep dive down the rabbit hole of all the shit that we've been lied to about. And as I'm able to do more research and maybe, talk to this new doctor that I want to see, that I want to get into, I will share all of that with you. That's what I'm hoping to do. And just open your minds a little bit more about nutrition. Now, there's a lot, again, I'm one of those people where I'm kind of an extremist in that sense that, I don't consume carbohydrates anymore. If I do, it's like tiny bits that are in, my, or, sauces or whatever that I use for my meats and stuff. So I probably consume, less than 50 grams of carbohydrates a day. I don't even know if I get up to that high. And I'm still hitting the gym, and I still have energy to hit the gym. Which makes me wonder about all the crap that I was taught as far as bodybuilding goes and needing to have carbohydrates to build muscle. Makes me wonder. But I'm still going to continue with this because what I'm learning every day is just mind-boggling. But you gotta learn it yourself. You gotta, put in the work and see what is going on out there, and I don't know, we have to take our own lives in our own hands. But so many of us have been conditioned to trust these doctors. Makes me sick. But you gotta do your research. But I'll tell you this, like I said, when my doctor said my cholesterol is high, yeah, that's when I was just like, I'm done. We're not doing this. So, stay with me, and I'll keep you posted, and do some research. Get out there and do your research.